in any case, this is ridiculous. Hassan Piker stopped for filming by police in China. What we know. American online political commentator Hassan Piker is going viral after being confronted by security while live streaming at Beijing's Tiananmen Square early Tuesday morning. Footage uploaded to Piker's Twitch channel, Hasanabi, which is over 3 million followers, shows Piker and several other influencers making their way to the daily sunset flag-raising ceremony at the Tiananmen Gate and at the portrait of the Chinese Communist Party, Mao Zedong. China tightly controls public speech and social media, and those who publicly raise sensitive issues, particularly criticism of party leadership, are subject to harsh penalties, including imprisonment. Authorities closely monitor recording activities at Tiananmen Square, a symbol of China's political power and site of major historical events, including the pro-democracy protests that the People's Liberation Army violence. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. Newsweek reached out to Piker by email for a request to comment. This screenshot from a Twitch live stream for American influencer Hassan Piker shows him standing next to chairman. Oh, yeah, fucking Christ. They be talking like you were criticizing China? No, but it's also, you know what's crazy about this? Recession indicator journalist reporting on your China trip via Twitch chat. You know what's crazy about this entire thing? Is that they're not making, like, this is not that big of a fucking ordeal, okay? It's not that big of an ordeal. Like, what are we doing? And you know what's ironic is, I mean, we'll see what happens, but the irony is I am under more threat, I would say. My dad sent me that I feel no patriotism for America or anyone in general clip via hate tweet. If he listened to the clip, he'd hear what you had to say, but I doubt he did. Yeah, it's not, it just got views on Twitter. Yeah, when I said I don't have any patriotism for America while streaming from Tiananmen Square, like, I was literally talking about, like, this is not for me. You know what I mean? Like, the national flag raising ceremony is not something that I can comprehend and I can understand because I'm not a particularly patriotic person. And what's ironic is, like, if they really wanted to make this seem like I was, they could have twisted this into being like anti-China even, you know what I mean? But instead, they just chose to do this. Popular progressive pundit Hassan Piker live stream from Beijing Tiananmen Square. Piker was joined by another Twitch member, Will Neff, in Tiananmen Square for the daily sunset flag raising ceremony. Report added that Piker and Neff were on camera and Neff held up his phone and showed up. Wait, Neff? That's not, no, it wasn't Will Neff that did that. Are these all AI articles? What is happening? Like, these are supposed to be news outlets. They just got, like, super basic facts wrong. Yeah, as the group waited, Piker joined with fellow Twitch streamer Will Neff that they were all in Tiananmen Square, so we were all becoming Chinese. When the time is right, you will look in the mirror and already be Chinese, Neff responded. That's not Will Neff. That was March. Neff held up his phone and the camera. Oh my God, they're just like saying this was Will Neff that did this. The officer asked to review the most recent footage from the live stream broadcast, brightly cut to black with an intermission screen displaying the message, "We're doing secret memes, be right back," later being added. When the broadcast resumed, Piker and the group were seen laughing about the encounters. They continued to record this great. This is awesome. I don't know why people aren't enjoying all this, Piker said. It was like 5 minutes or less. Nothing happened. One cop bitched at you to see the phone, and then you went into the square anyway. Literally nothing happened. You're getting detained at the airport was a much bigger deal. I know. Pablo Hassan is literally pro-CCP. He's defended the Chinese Communist Party's live stream dozens of times. Hilarious. Li Hui, research fellow at Stanford University, Hoover Institute. Foreigners are finally beginning to see the reality that Chinese are intimately familiar with day in, day out and have long attained a skin level understanding of. Bro, they went to a Stanford University Hoover Institute research fellow for this. If that's the makings of a real article, right? You go to an op, you go to like an oppositional researcher from a right-wing think tank, okay? And you get a quote from them. That means that this is a real article. But if that's a real article, you have to get the people that you're covering correctly, okay? Oh, they didn't even get the quote from him. He just tweeted it. That's so funny. Jesus Christ. I'm moored with looking good. Not only is there no freedom to criticize the government of China, people don't even have the freedom to praise China, whether you support or criticize, say all speech is subject to political review. Yeah, it's just bad journalism. He tweeted about you 26 times yesterday. MSM reaching levels of watch I never could have imagined. Yeah, the reason why this didn't happen with iShowSpeed when he went to China is because he doesn't have the same level of ops, and his audience is actually like 12 years old. So on the other hand, my audience is much older, as opposed to iShowSpeed's audience. And also on top of that, I have a lot of like political enemies who spend every waking moment watching the streams and trying to desperately turn it into something of consequence when it's not. And I don't really know how to deal with it beyond just like it's a lie. I don't know. I mean, just watch the fucking stream, you know, you'll see it. You do understand you'll never have a normal life, right? I know, but it's just like, it's annoying. Why is the clip of the stream going down, getting clipped? Do you see what I mean? It kind of takes up half your stream nowadays. I mean, what do you want me to do? Not address it? It like, first of all, for the faucet of misinformation that fucking comes out, I briefly deal with it. It's been an hour. I talked about it for 20 minutes. What do you want me to do? Not fucking talk about it? That's crazy. Addressing it does feed it. I mean, there's a million things that I'm not even addressing, but we're moving on. Anyway, this is how I'm about to be today. Look, we're going to the Forbidden City later, okay? We're going to the Forbidden City.
5,000 years it goes back. 5,000. And I guess the oldest culture, they say, is Egypt at 8,000.
Isn't it crazy how much, like, younger he seems here? Like, he just seems much more vibrant. This is 2017. This is Trump 1 when he first visited China. And when you react, people are waiting for a clip of a minor part of your reaction to use against you too. But you can't. It's forbidden. That's funny. Yeah. He was old but didn't seem too old. No, he is definitely much, much older now.
So this is your original form, very much, yeah.
And people like us years ago, people going down from strength.
That's great. That's great. Even 1 year ago, make sure you guys climb the hill behind the Forbidden City after you go through. It's got a spectacular view of the Forbidden City and the central axis of Beijing. I don't know if we got enough time to do all of that, but yeah, we're also gonna be going to the Forbidden City, as I talked about already. But yeah, let's get to it. Let's get to the news, baby. Democrats divided as Senate passes spending bill that could end the shutdown.
We begin with
Can you match the camera, hers, to the light? No, I can't, because it's gonna break the camera. Do you want me to break the camera? Do you want me to break the camera? If the answer is yes, I'll break it for you. And then you'll complain about how I broke the camera. All right, fuck it. Let's break the camera. All right. Seems like you guys want it. Here.
Breaking news as a bill to end the government shutdown finally heads to the House. The bill was approved last night in the Senate after 7 Democrats and 1 independent crossed party lines. The House could soon convene for the first time in months to vote on it. Nicole Killian is on Capitol Hill. Nicole, good morning. How soon could this happen?
Hey, good morning.
I'm not going to do it. Fuck you.
Since today is a federal holiday and lawmakers need some more time to get back here to Washington, the soonest the House could vote would be tomorrow, now that the Senate's work is done.
The bill as amended is passed.
For the first time in more than a month, the Senate finally did something it hasn't been able to do: pass a bill to end the government shutdown.
This is a great victory for the American people, and it shows that the Senate can work.
The narrowly approved package will fund the government through January 30th, extend funding for SNAP or food assistance benefits for a full year, and reinstate federal workers who were laid off during the shutdown.
By the middle of the week, end of the week, government will be reopened. Air traffic controllers will get paid. The Capitol Police will finally get paid.
8 members of the Democratic caucus broke ranks to support the measure, including Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman, who spoke with CBS Mornings.
I think collectively within the caucus, they realized this has to end.
The vote sparked backlash among party rank and file, who were furious the deal did not include a guarantee to extend Affordable Care Act tax credits to combat spiking premiums. Some Democrats and progressive groups called on Minority Leader Chuck Schumer to resign.
It goes deeper than Schumer. It is no secret to anybody who follows these things that there is a division within the Democratic Party.
The divisions could complicate passage in the House, and some federal workers question whether the shutdown was worth it.
To shut down the government over subsidies that it seems like won't even be a part of the negotiated deal seems to me to be a wasted month.
A lot of the lawmakers involved feel that they have to be so loyal to their party, but they forget that they have to be loyal to the American people first.
President Trump said the bill is a good deal and he'll abide by it. He also said he's talking with Republicans about a potential health care fix, but hasn't offered many details. The Senate is expected to take up that issue next month. Gail?
So many things still to work out there. Nicole, thank you so much.
Bill as amended
is passed.
Overnight, the Senate officially passing a bill to reopen the government, putting Congress on track to end the longest shutdown in American history.
I've already given my perspective on how stupid this is, and how much of a disastrous proposal this was. You know, my position on it is known. Have you seen Ezra Klein's take, Lamau? Even Ezra Klein had like a little bit of criticism for it, it feels, right? Like, even he was just like, yeah, this is not the best thing, guys. What are we doing? Kind of felt like even Ezra Klein was just like, I don't know what you guys are doing. Harry Emden also, I bookmarked this already, had a Chuck Schumer take, okay? It seems like this is ripping the Democratic Party apart. I think this is good. Okay? I think this is good. It's not a bad thing. The Democrats need to get their act in order. They need to be a normal, competent, good party, okay? They have to. There is no more time to fuck around. Anyway, Jon Stewart had a take on the Democrats fumbling the shutdown as well. And it's just like weird because there is definitely a meta in the party base for like Kamala dead enders in particular that I find really strange. Like, I can't tell if it's like astroturfed or I can't tell if it's like sincere, you know? But there are people, at least on Twitter, that I see saying stuff like, well, none of y'all voted for Kamala Harris. None of y'all voted. And now you're coming after, you know, the Democrats again. Why don't you save your energy for the Republicans? And it's like, I am angry at the Republicans. That's why I'm angry at the centrist Democrats that gave a W to the Republicans. I don't understand it. Like, I just cannot. I've never encountered a person that has this opinion genuinely in the real world. And I'm sure it exists, because any number of different stupid opinions exist in the real world. But this one is like alarming. It just sounds like, it just feels like a fucking liberal psyop or something. Because I don't understand how you are that devoid of self-reflection. You know? I don't understand how you are that invested in a party that is actively harming you if you are a real person at all. It just does not make any sense to me. It does not make any sense to me whatsoever.
History.
This has been a very long road, quite literally the longest shutdown in history.
I think there are a lot of people, if you go out in the real world, if you talk to liberals, if you go out door knocking, if you go out canvassing, I think you will find that a lot of people are desperately looking for an alternative. They're desperately looking for a more robust response. A lot of liberals are agitated. A lot of liberals are looking for fighters, you know? I don't think there are a lot of people out there running around thinking, no, things are amazing. The Democrats are doing great. I love that Chuck Schumer caved by getting 8 of the most protected Democrats with seniority to engage in this feckless cowardice, to make it look so stupid, to offer a fantastic W to the Republican Party at their weakest moment for no reason whatsoever.
I am very, very happy to be able to say that we are coming to the end.
The bill now heads to the House, members scrambling back to Washington after being out of town for more than 50 days.
You need to begin right now returning to the Hill. We have to do this as quickly as possible.
The House will hold its first round of votes Wednesday afternoon. But the deal leaving many Democrats outraged because it does nothing to address the expiring Obamacare subsidies that the party spent weeks holding out on as a precondition for reopening the government.
We're not going to support partisan Republican spending bill that continues to gut the health care of the American people.
Instead, the deal reached in the Senate comes with a promise from Republicans to hold a future vote on health care. Even Republicans acknowledging that's not going anywhere.
It seems like the health care bill that Democrats will be putting on the floor has a very low chance of getting any Republican support.
yeah, I would say it won't get any.
So we asked Democratic senators why they decided to reopen the government without their key demand.
People are aware now that this is an issue, and they know who's fighting for them. But it's time to end the suffering that people are feeling because of this government shutdown.
The impacts of the shutdown rippling across the country, from delayed food assistance to missed paychecks, and massive travel delays due to a shortage of air traffic controllers and TSA agents. The president calling for air traffic controllers who have been working without pay to be penalized if they haven't shown up for work. The president writing on social media that those who called out should leave their jobs with no payment or severance of any kind.
There's many different aspects to argue and criticize in this back and forth. But the one consistent thing that I cannot stand is how little the Republicans get penalized. Okay? I cannot fucking stand it. Donald Trump, throughout this entire shutdown, did all of the wrong things. Like, the way I describe it is, if you wanted to present yourself as the villain who does not care about the working class at all, you would do what Donald Trump did. Okay? You would destroy the East Wing of the White House and like build this grand ballroom and constantly talk about it. You would have these Gilded Age style lavish parties with the super wealthy mega donors, as you are simultaneously openly stating that you want to cut 42 million Americans' welfare. You want to starve them, right? While simultaneously refusing to reopen the government and refusing to concede on offering 24 million Americans health care. Like, I cannot imagine a more insane scenario. If I saw this on a TV show, I would say, if I saw this on a TV show, okay, I'd be like, this is too much. Nobody behaves like this. Like, this is some of you are going to die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make ass moment, you know? It's like, he's the monarch from Shrek. Like, this is unrealistic because of how in your face it is. You would see this in mostly like a cartoon or something. Like, you wouldn't even see this in an adult movie. Is it true you had to hand over your phone to the CCP police in Tiananmen Square? Yes. I have no phone now. This is they gave me a party official Huawei phone. I shouldn't be joking like this. Someone's gonna clip that and be like, "This is real. They did that." No, dude. No, no. Yeah, I'm in prison right now. This is a prison. Yeah, free upgrade, by the way. Dude, Huawei phones are so crazy. I don't understand. As I was saying, I don't understand how people looked at this dynamic. Now, this is from an earlier video, but the point still stands, right? I do not understand this dynamic at all. Like, do Republicans also, like Republican voters in general, like, do they just not have any fucking self-interest at all? Are they just bots? Like, I know I've been shitting on the Democrats quite a bit, and I don't have a lot of smoke for the voters in general. I usually try to share, or I usually try to focus my animosity to those in positions of power, right? That's on principle, what I believe. You know, be kind to people, be ruthless to systems. But there is a point where I'm just like, damn, man. Like, if you're a Republican voter, if you're like a reliable Republican Party voter, do you just not realize what's going on? You're sitting in the cuck chair, man. This guy is pissing in your face, telling you it's raining, and you're just sitting there and taking it because you're thinking, well, at least the other guys are getting more piss in their face than I am. You know, I'm getting a little bit of dribble. They're getting pissed on even harder. So, hell yeah, brother. I just don't get it. Like, how do you not revolt? It kind of feels like the liberal base has more smoke for the institutional Democratic Party than the MAGA base has for what the Republican Party has become. I guess because Trump is supposed to be like the logical conclusion of the Tea Party movement. So they think this is their populist moment. But if the populist moment comes and all you are experiencing as a Republican voter, as a MAGA supporter, as a Trump loyalist is no answers for affordability and a billionaire that is so decadent that his behavior would look silly if you read it in a book or if you saw it in a fucking movie. Like gold-plated, gaudy-ass White House refurbs and revamps while his own base of support is starving. And you just don't even turn around and go, man, maybe I made the wrong decision here. Like, there's not a single moment where you just go, yeah, I think this guy fucking sucks. Promises made, promises not kept. What are we doing? What are we fucking doing? It makes no damn sense. That's the thing. If they admit they were wrong, then the libs were right. This is historic levels of in your face abundance for the super wealthy and starvation for the super poor. Okay? This is untenable. At least throughout history, this has been unsustainable, famously. Okay? This has led to some relatively violent moments of instability. Okay? Make fun of this tactic all you want, but it's literally worked for him for the last 10 years. Fuck you, I win, you lose, you're gay is actually a really good strategy when everyone is stupid and cruel. Yeah, Trump officials say that there's no affordability crisis. They're trying to do the vibe session. There are still people, and maybe they do it because they get paid to, so maybe it's moot, that approach the Trump machine with their mindset of like, okay, here's how we get them. And you get them, and he says you didn't get me. In fact, you lose, and it works every time. And he has fucking sucked for decades. This is a new behavior of Trump, and that's the fucking kicker. Yeah, I mean, look, this is why part of my argument revolves around criticizing the Democrats, because if they were a serious party, if they were a competent opposition party, right, then they could at least like take advantage of this weakness. They could take advantage of this lack of interest in like solving some of these crises that Donald Trump won on, right? Affordability being the key one. But they're just not remotely invested in having a clear-cut vision for a better future and how they are going to do right by the voters, and or even like showing how Donald Trump has actually lied, right? And that to me is so strange. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. Also, what is happening here? Uh-oh. Hello? Am I still live? Can you guys still see me? I'm losing my chatterino is getting busted. It's like disconnecting and reconnecting. Uh-oh. Are frames dropping? What the heliante? You're good, we see you? Okay, it's just chatterino then, huh? No F's on our side. Okay. All right, we're back. I mean, chatterino's back. I don't know what happened. There was like a brief, he got busted for a second. Moored with looking good. Okay. I don't know if you noticed, but the light behind you is effing. Yes, it's a issue I am aware of, but I can't fix it for now. So, like, I don't know how much it will carry you to simply repeat over and over again the notion that, you know, things are not so great for me. I can't afford basic needs. Rent is constantly increasing and shit's just getting real bad. But at least there's a libtard out there that's getting owned, you know? Like, I don't know how much that can carry you, you know? How far will that carry you? Sounds good to me, Law. Like that level of, I don't know how you can have that level of spite for your fellow Americans. That mentality is ridiculous. Yeah, but it's a driving factor. It is at the heart of Trump's consistent, reliable base of support. Oh, at least like trans people are no longer able to compete in athletic endeavors. Oh, at least like undocumented migrants are being ripped away from their families, right? Like, oh, there's a unlimited cruelty to people that I've been told are my real enemies. So it's fine. Somewhere out there, there is a lib getting owned. I mean, is it worth it? Is that level of animosity and anger for those who have literally the same exact interests as you, your neighbors that go through the same financial struggles, the same financial hardships, is it worth it to just brand them as the enemy? As a guy like this is just robbing you blind and laughing about it behind closed doors and sometimes on camera. This is what I asked the Republicans who were just like I want to understand, if you are pro MAGA at this point and you're a regular ass dude, you're not like a millionaire, you're not a billionaire, right? And you're not like some Christian nationalist who believes falsely that Trump is going to bring about a positive change for you by implementing some kind of Christian Sharia, you know, because that's not going to help you in the long run anyway. But like, at least in the interim, you have falsely believed that he's going to do that. And that's a good thing, right? But if you're none of those guys, if you're just like a regular, you know, mechanic and you're having a hard time, you have welfare, right? To a certain degree, you got some needs that are not being met. You have a hard time paying rent. You're terrified of having to go to the doctor because you're going to be saddled with medical debt, right? And you're just kind of floating around, looking at TikTok clips, own the libs compilations and whatnot, and you voted for Donald Trump because you thought he had an affirmative vision, right? He had a vision for changing this country in a direction that you thought was going to be good. You were led to believe that if all of the, you know, you're also Hispanic, let's say you're a Hispanic male, but all the other Hispanic men, the bad ones, will get deported, right? And you start seeing that happen, and it doesn't fix your financial predicament, right? You hate trans people. Let's say you think they're weird, you think they're gross, you think they're strange, you think they're like faking being trans, and that's in order to like win the, you know, middle school swim meet or something, or the high school swim meet, which is like an insane thing. But let's say you were led to believe that, right? And then Trump comes out and he's like, I've banned trans athletes, right? I've banned them from the NCAA. And you're like, hell yeah, sir. Thank God you did that. But your financial situation didn't change. As a matter of fact, it got worse. What do you do in that situation, right? What do you do? Like, I want to understand the mentality. And for the record, I saw this tweet as well. Someone just sent it to me and said, that's the guy. You're describing the guy. His name is Some Welder on Twitter. Irreverent sage, business owner, aviator, and dog stand. Not on your team. Patrick Henry was right. CV Passam Parabellum. Okay? And he goes, my health insurance just went up another $500 a month for the missus and me. $39,733 now for the year. Fuck your SNAP, fuck your EBT, and fuck your Obamacare subsidies. I wasn't put on this earth to pay your fucking bills. Brother, do you not know what the Democrats were trying to do? Like, I shit on them all the time, right? Like, I get mad at the Democrats all the time, but like, they were literally trying to avoid that thing. They were trying to avoid this happening to you. The people that are doing that to you is the Republican Party, the people that you voted for. How can you experience the fucking problem that these guys are seeking to solve, seeking to address, at least in the interim? Because I think, like, if I talk to this guy, I could be like, dude, you want free healthcare, right? Like, you don't want to pay 39 grand. You're not going to be taxed $39,000 if we have Medicare for all. Your tax liability is going to be lower than this, okay? Your tax liability is going to be lower than this. It's going to be lower than $39,000 that you pay for in fucking premiums, and you don't have any additional surprise billing in the aftermath of all of this. I mean, this blows my mind. Like, how do you live in this world? How can you not understand who is hurting you? And then you got people saying, I thought you were a welder and not some whiny little bitch. Be a man and pull yourself up by your bootstraps, bitch. That would be a lot easier to accomplish if I didn't have useless losers like you hanging off my bootstraps. Pay for your own shit. Trash. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, boomer. I already did that, renter. It's a shame you lack all empathy and compassion. You're a clear sign of exactly what's wrong in this country today. What does stealing the fruits of my labor at the point of a gun and redistributing them to others have to do with empathy and compassion? Like, this guy doesn't understand. He goes, fuck your Obamacare subsidies. You fucking moron. What do you mean, fuck your Obamacare subsidies? That's you. That's for you. I lived almost all my life in rural area in Eastern Europe. What you have to understand is that people got used to being poor. They don't have hope of getting better, but the immediate hate that they have, they want to get resolved no matter what. Your healthcare is going up because your subsidies are going away, you idiot. I don't get subsidies and I never have. R word. You have to force these guys to have nice things. I'm with you. Don't tell these assholes what you're legislating. Just implement it against their will. At a certain point, you do have to move beyond it. You know, at a certain point, you do have to move beyond the notion that, like, that guy's fucking opinion matters. It doesn't, okay? He's going to sit there and suck it up, okay? You are going to advance the wishes of the broadest majority of voters, okay? You're going to give them health care, and he's just going to sit there and complain for, like, the first year or so and probably quietly recognize that things have gotten much better. That's it. You just have to force free healthcare on people like that. I don't think there's any way of snapping this guy out of his like angry, drunken stupor here. His position is so untenable, you know? It just does not make any fucking sense. I could not believe it. I could not believe this take, man, when I saw this. Zoe Rose Bryant talks about, I truly just cannot fathom why anyone would give a flying fuck about this. How does the sex marker on my passport affect anybody but me? We're on the verge of a recession. Families can't afford groceries and people are losing healthcare left and right. And this is your fucking focus. Yeah. The Supreme Court has allowed the Trump administration to block transgender and non-binary people from choosing passport sex markers that align with their gender identity. Who is this for? Like, at a certain point, you have to recognize. At a certain point, you have to fucking recognize that your shit is not all right. It's not good. It's not good at all. And it's getting worse. And it's because of your hyper investment in this, like, dumb, nonsensical bullshit that doesn't touch you at all, that, you know, you kind of have to focus your priorities on things that actually matter. Yeah, there's also this. The U.S. Trump administration is reportedly working on 15-year car loans. U.S. President Donald Trump also posted yesterday regarding allowing 50-year mortgages, which is unironically the whole you will own nothing and be happy. Like, this man is the World Economic Forum guy. It turns out, as a neoliberal shill himself, it turns out the fucking billionaire guy has the exact same opinions as the other billionaire guys. How is this any different than the are you ready for the new world order style attitude that these people used to fucking hate? This is it, right? I mean, this is the you will eat the bugs, you will own nothing, and you will be happy. This is it. Someone send me that fucking YouTube video, please. We got to watch it. We have to watch it real quick. Like, the car loan thing might not be real, but the 50-year mortgage is. This is it.
This is how Schwab, and I'm here to say you must give more of your rights away. Your sacrifice is the only remedy for the real pandemic. We must prepare an angrier world as Agenda 2030 is unfurled. You will eat the bugs sitting in the metaverse. You will comply and it will get worse. Are you ready for the new world order? No more human rights for the border. We own you.
mechanic guy you described is the average guy in the U.S. Republican think tanks pay millions to do focus groups so they can get away with their bullshit, and that guy will think it's good for him. Yeah, I mean, yes, Americans are some of the most propagandized people on the planet. Like, that's just what it is. It's one of the, I mean, by the way, that's a bop, regardless. Like, politics aside, that's just straight up a bop. It actually probably did so much good for the World Economic Forum. At least when I listened to it, I was like, well, I want this. Like, I am ready for the new world order. But like, people think, people are so heavily propagandized against that they just unironically think like everyone else is fucked. Everyone else is having a much tougher go at it. And that they're, in America, they're in the wealthiest nation on the planet. Like, they're doing fucking fantastic. It's the greatest nation on the planet. And it's like, and then you see shit like this. 70% of China's millennials are homeowners. How does that not piss you off? That's from 2017. I think the fact that these people exist makes perfect sense, to be honest. Trump has given his base just enough fuel with his relentless anti-immigrant agenda, combined with the culture war shit he's implementing. There's a reason why Trump won with deport everyone. They're eating the cats and dogs, and I literally don't have a plan for healthcare. It's the culture war. No, I know. And it is imperative upon the left position party in this country, the opposition party in this country, to actively move people's attention back to the material, right? To actually center the working class, to be unafraid to call things out like this. And you never actually fucking hear that. You never actually hear that from the Democrats, unfortunately. At most, they will offer a little bit of lip service to like incremental gains. And that's the reason why they keep losing. It's like, how do we still let these animals win any power in this fucking country, man? In PPP terms, China just surpassed the US years ago. In nominal terms, its GDP is around 80% of the US, but growing faster. More importantly, China leads the world in EVs, solar, shipbuilding, drones, AI hardware, steel, highways, railways, consumer electronics, dams, nuclear power, and increasingly semiconductors, the foundational physical technologies that actually make societies better. China's mastery of physical infrastructure means that cooperation and integration with the Chinese supply chain is the most practical path towards development for most countries. It's a no-brainer. Yeah. Democratic cowardice is a big part of the party's brand problem, by the way. A YouGov poll from February found most voters see Republicans as bold and aggressive, while Dems are perceived as sluggish, timid, and cowardly. People don't believe the Dems will fight for them. And why should they? Why should they? Why should they? They're right. For every Summer Lee, Congresswoman that I interviewed in the Capitol before coming to China, there are 10 Chuck Schumers. Old, decrepit, far too comfortable in their seat of power, far too invested in a world that doesn't exist anymore, a political game that has never really existed. They are just as delusional, if not more delusional, about the material realities, in spite of their, liberal safeguarding status, as the anarchist who believes that there will be a revolution tomorrow, as the Marxist-Leninist vanguardist who believes that there is no necessity to propagandize to the working class, there's no necessity to bring up class consciousness in this country, and that we could foment socialist revolution tomorrow if it wasn't for the Democratic Party actively stopping it. Okay? That's it. They are just as oblivious to the needs of the working class or where they're at as the left comms out there. Bro, they tried to make a genocide acceptable, but they failed. That's another point. That is another point that I argue for as well. Strawman much. If you disagree with me, then you either self-ID as a left comm or you genuinely misunderstand the point I'm making. Hit dog hollers. No disrespect, but
While those who didn't take time off should get a bonus of $10,000.
We should not have had people leaving their jobs. And what I basically did is say the ones that stayed, of which there were a lot of them, I'm sending them a $10,000 bonus.
Where's that money coming from?
I don't know. I'll get it from someplace.
So President Trump did sign a bill into law back in 2019 that guarantees back pay for all federal workers. The president also says that he will abide by this deal reached in the Senate, which does include a provision that requires him to rehire the federal workers he fired during the shutdown. And of course, Americans out there are all asking the same question. When exactly is this government shutdown going to end? Well, again, the House expected to take up this measure tomorrow. Then it heads to the president's desk for his signature. But the impacts of this shutdown could last another week, especially for travel, Robin.
That cannot end soon enough. All right, Rachel, thank you.
Hey, welcome to the Daily Show!
All right, we're going to do the Daily Show, but before we do, I do want to cover Harry Emden talking about Chuck Schumer.
Democrats nationwide feeling about Chuck Schumer. I think the word of the day is terrible, 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 terrible. To quote another Charles Barkley when it...
What? Where was it? Oh, no, don't clap that guy. He said, you know, I hear words, but all I see is a man living in his own delusions of grandeur and trying to pass it off to someone that lacks brain cells. Also, you never compare to Mark and Henry. What? Since when is critiquing support of a bourgeois party left, com? No. I'm talking about an outright refusal. An outright refusal to recognize where the mass is, where the masses are. Okay? Refusing to meet the working class where they are and actively communicate with them to help them understand, to foment class consciousness, especially in a moment like this where the Democratic Party is for once finally being seen as a feckless institution that does not meet the demands that the public are making. Okay, Marxists-Leninists don't disagree with you on that point. I mean, I know. That's why I said, if you exist outside of this construct, if you exist outside of this mentality, it's just not, I don't know what you're doing. I think you're insincere and unserious. You have to meet the people where they're at, and you have to educate them, and you have to help them come to these conclusions. Americans are the most propagandized people on the fucking planet, okay? And they think that they're actually free thinkers when they are far from it. Utilizing the existing constructs, utilizing the existing mass party that already has organs of communication, that already has an infrastructure to meet people where they're at, and just casting that aside to build class consciousness on your own is silly, especially because it means that you are unable to realize how this stuff looks to the average person, how socialism is treated by the average person. It's a boogeyman. It's scary. There's a lot more work to be done, is what I'm saying.
Comes to Chuck Schumer, look at this. Least popular Dem Senate leader ever. I looked at all of the polls going all the way back since 1985. The one who has the lowest rating among Democrats is, in fact, Chuck Schumer. Look at this. He's underwater with Democrats. His own party, he's underwater. He's at -4 points. That makes him the least popular guy for a Dem Senate leader going all the way back since the mid-1980s at least.
Do you have a sense of why?
Why? It's because Democrats, they want a fighter. They want a fighter. That's why. Take a look here.
Like, this is the most basic argument that I have pushed for years now. And people said I was a spoiler, and they said that I was wrong for saying this. But this is what I've been fucking saying for years, and we have finally arrived at a place where the base is also demanding it loudly and proudly. And the Democrats are so weak at this moment that the establishment is completely unable to deal with this level of pushback from their own voters. They're completely incapable of casting aside the wishes of the liberal base of support. I have a theory that the average American, okay, the average American is much more progressive, much more open-minded, much more left curious than we give them credit for. Okay, I believe this in my heart. I believe this entirely. I believe this sincerely. But it is upon us to help them unlock that class consciousness, to guide them to the water of socialism. I will exhaust all readily available options to do so until the time comes when there is a robust, self-identifying working class in this country. And I don't even think that it's just the Americans that are like this. I think every human being is like this. It's just that they have been effectively shut out from ever entertaining the notion that there is any sort of left alternative, any sort of socialist alternative. Okay? That's it.
Dems in Congress do too little to oppose Trump. During the first term, it was just 46% in 2017. That's the percentage of Democrats who said that the Dems...
Not saying you're doing social fascism or that the vanguard is ready, but the opportunity to build a third party with the average American right now than any other point in history. And I don't understand why we need the Democratic establishment anymore. No, you disagree vehemently and still appreciate your work. Great question. This is one that I actually talk about quite a bit. The reason why I say this is because beyond the demands that Americans have currently, right, of the Democratic Party, most Americans are antagonistic towards socialism and Marxism because they've been heavily propagandized against it. So in order to reach the masses, you have to work within the mass movement of liberalism, okay? You have to at least like start tackling the antagonistic, the automatic antagonism that the word socialism holds, okay? That's why I say we're not there yet as far as like the viability of building a third party. I see the weakness of the Democratic Party as presenting an option because we don't have any recent history of successful socialist mobilization in this country. Recent history, I say, right? People do not think that this is a good thing still. They're heavily propagandized against it. So you have to work within the existing confines. This is not to say that there is no reason or that it's a bad thing to develop a viable third party. There might be a time when that will become a necessity, right? Because the Democratic Party has always been a liberal bourgeois party. I'm not opposed. That time is now is what a lot of people say. This is where we disagree, I think, because I don't see, and maybe it's because I'm too cynical, but I do not see, as it stands, a capacity to build a mass movement until you break the dam of Red Scare propaganda in this country. And the best possible way to do that, the way I see it, is by using the election machine, the turnout machine that already exists, that is still being controlled by liberal capitalist Democrats that are still trying to cling on to the levers of power within this party. But because they're so weak and so feeble and so old, that their grasp upon it is weakening. So I don't think that there is any reason. I don't think that there's any reason not to entertain a third party. It's just that as it stands currently, like a lot of people say Zoran is the proof of what I'm saying. If you think that Zoran Mamdani as an independent socialist candidate would have been able to reach this level of success, I'm sorry, but you're not paying close attention to how elections work. And it's understandable because elections have failed you. So over the years, through the decades, you have grown more and more pessimistic about the two-party system in its entirety, and I am there as well. But Zoran Mamdani, in spite of his charisma, in spite of his turnout machine, would not have won as an independent socialist in New York City. And there's still much work to be done, because then he also needs to deliver on his agenda to show Americans paying attention, and maybe even everyone around the world is paying close attention to this race and the outcome of this race, that a better future is possible. Right? But yeah, here's where the Democrats are still.
Congress are doing too little to oppose Donald Trump. Look at where we are now, 69%. That is an increase of, get this, 23 points. The super duper majority of Democrats believe that the Democrats in Congress are not doing enough to oppose Donald Trump. And that, of course, is a big, huge criticism of Chuck Schumer. And that is why he is underwater.
I knew you were going to do the dip. All right.
I always do the dip. I need my exercise in the morning.
There has been talks of a challenge to Schumer. What are you saying on that front?
What's next after the news today? After the news is done, we're going to go back to Tiananmen Square, and we're going to go to the Forbidden City, which is also very exciting.
Who looks like they're in place to do it?
Okay, so you see this opening slide here, and you see, of course, that Chuck Schumer is underwater with Democrats nationally. But of course, the ultimate way to get Chuck Schumer out of
How do you expect to awaken class consciousness and unite the working class when you're openly hosile to political activism with people who largely already share your worldview? Why can't we unite under a shared ideology and accept that we have separate roles to play in awakening people to depravity, the uniparty? I agree with you. I do agree with you. I don't know where this confusion is coming from.
Is to beat him in New York State. So how do New York State Democrats feel about Chuck Schumer? And take a look here, the net favorable among New York Democrats. Chuck Schumer is above water with the Democrats in his home state, but just by 16 points. Look at Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez running way ahead. If she decides to challenge Chuck Schumer and come 2028, she's got a real leg up on the competition. I dare say at this point she would be the favorite to beat him, which would be something that would just blow my mind, even just a few years ago, given that Chuck Schumer, of course, is a New York born bred type of guy.
Yeah, those are incredible.
Look at that, 30 points ahead. My goodness gracious.
That's a lot. All right, Harry Enton, you're always 100% ahead of the curve.
Ah.
I do.
Did on with the shutter speed? Yeah, the shutter speed. I tried to fix it. Oh, okay. Well, it was cooked. No, I couldn't because I didn't want to. No, it's still flickering. The lights are flickering behind. Chatters were going crazy over it. In any case, all right. So, chat, we're gonna go to the Forbidden City. No, it's not Will Neff. It's Marchie Poo. What? We're not leaving yet, but we are going to in a little bit. I think in like half an hour. We're gonna break this down. We're gonna break this setup down. We're gonna swap over. Did you charge the batteries? Oh, okay. It's in the green bag. The charger is in the green bag. Yeah. Also, that red bag is yours from Tiananmen Square, I think. But in half an hour, we are going to. I already packed everything. That's why I was late. But we are going. It's on top of the black bag. In half an hour, we're gonna start breaking down this setup. It's the last remaining thing that's like still not packed, and we're gonna put all of our stuff in our car. And we're going to go to Tiananmen Square, again, to the Forbidden City. And we're going to do an IRL stream from Tiananmen Square at the Forbidden City. And it's going to be very exciting. I'm very excited about it. And then after that, we're going to get on a maglev. Well, not a maglev, but a bullet train. But you're going to miss the PlayStation thingy? Please stop. Please stop trying to be annoying. It's not. Please. Please. I'm very excited for this. I'm very excited to see the Forbidden City, and I'm also very excited to be on a Chinese bullet train. And you guys are in here just being like, oh, when will you watch the PlayStation event? Or why won't you play video games? Why won't you play Dispatch? What's the difference between maglev and bullet? China has maglev is magnetic levitation, I think, right? It's much faster. It's like 450 kilometers as opposed to like the bullet train is around 350 kilometers max speed. And it's incredible. It's a different technology. It's a newer technology. It's levitating. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, 7 is good, I think. All right. How the fuck do magnets work though? Bro, I don't even understand. It feels like magic. Weren't you on a Chinese TV station yesterday? How did that go? It went great. Yeah, I was. I was on CGTN. Where are you heading to using the maglev train? We're not doing maglev. We're doing bullet train. I'm going to Shanghai. We are going to be traveling from Beijing to Shanghai today. It's a travel day for us. And it's actually a 6-hour train ride, which is pretty crazy because it's a It's going to be a 6-hour train ride. I'm very excited. I mean, China's massive, right? China is so massive. And I'm not going to be streaming the entire time on the train. And I think that there's going to be issues streaming on the train anyway. But like, we're allowed to do it, but it's just like, because it goes through like rural areas, it's very, very difficult to like have, it's very difficult to have consistent bandwidth, but we will vlog it. I'm pretty sure Speed did it as well. And we'll order food. We'll order food and have like little robots bring the food, because that's what you're supposed, that like you can do that. Robots bring food to your location. It's pretty crazy. All right, let's keep going. And he gave the nuclear football to a fucking moron. I cannot stress this enough. The Democrats lost to this guy, bro. Like, it's super basic. It's so embarrassing. Twice, man. Twice. After seeing what he did the last time around, all it took was 4 years for people's memories to be wiped.
Or Mike Johnson. I cannot. Clarity.
This stuff is really good because I'm preaching to the freaking choir when I say this, right? I'm preaching to the choir, and unfortunately, a lot of liberals have hate in their hearts for someone like myself because of this, because I've been saying this for years and years at a time when many liberals actually believed in the party, right? And thought that I was being too heavy-handed in my criticisms. But I'm glad that Jon Stewart is doing this because, you know, I'll take it from anywhere I can, okay? Whether it be Jon Stewart, whether it be the Pod Johns, whether it be MSNBC, like wherever I hear this, this is good. Because this is a radicalizing moment for a lot of wine moms, for a lot of the regular, straight, blue ticket voters, okay? The very fact that it was the safest Democrats too, like John Ossoff going back and forth on the yes, no vote and having 8 senators that are either, you know, John Fetterman, who's in his own unique space, or have no primary threat until 2028 or 2030 means that the Democrats did this on purpose. Like this was organized. It just wasn't organized in the direction of fighting against the Republicans. So it sounds crazy when I explain it this way, but this is a fantastic opportunity that we must seize upon to explain to people the rotating villain structure that exists in the Democratic Party. Okay? You got retiring senators like Dick Durbin. You got senators that don't have any primaries coming up until 2028. Those were the ones who actually voted for a reopening of the government without extracting any concessions after 40 days. 40 days.
She voted yes, didn't she?
Jane Shaheen decided to vote yes.
That was the most weirdly coordinated vote.
Like, this is exactly what people hate about politics in America. It's just theater. It's nothing. You are unprincipled. You never cared. You never cared at all. This is exactly what people despise about American politics. Not just on the Democratic Party front, on the Republican Party side as well. But like, this is exceptionally bad for the Democrats, because at least the Republicans can like lean into culture war narratives and whip up panic and galvanize the base, even offer them some treats, offer them some red meat to pay their attention, to reshift their priorities over to, like, whether it be vulnerable populations like trans people, whether it be undocumented immigrants, stuff like that. The Democrats don't even have that. They constantly find themselves in a defensive posture against the faucet of misinformation coming from the Republican side, and they're absolutely unable to even offer basic levels of defense for some of these most marginalized populations, some of the most vulnerable groups in the country. And they just look weak. They look weak and cowardly. And it's precisely because of stuff like this, where they just give up on this fight, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. This kind of shit makes you look phony and fake to the average person. The average person looks at this stuff and goes, oh, come on, man. Again? Really? Like, I thought for once you guys were going to actually show Trump what's up. I thought you were going to save the ACA subsidies so that my healthcare costs didn't fucking triple. My premiums didn't triple. Instead, they just gave up. They gave up on their own Band-Aid. This is not my policy. I'm not a big fan of the ACA, right? I recognize that due to that same exact like machine politics, ruining, watering down, diluting, or absolutely destroying any sort of opportunity in the more positive vision of working towards socialized healthcare, the ACA was a setback, unfortunately, especially because it did not accompany the public option. A public option opt-in would have actually still been fairly difficult to accomplish or move towards like actual fully nationalized healthcare, fully socialized system, but it would be much better. It would be defendable. It would be much better. It would be a government competitor that could actually normalize prices on the private sector side. And that was also destroyed by the fucking same rotating villain structure within the Democratic Party at the time. It was a filibuster-proof majority that Obama had, with the exception of Joe fucking Lieberman. Okay? And they got cooked. But now, because the material conditions have deteriorated so far and politics has deteriorated to this degree that the Democrats can't even fucking defend their own policies. And you got people like me, socialists, leftists, yelling at the Democrats to actually fucking stand firm and defend ACA subsidies, a Band-Aid solution to a gaping wound. And they can't even do that. They can't even do that. If you can't even defend your liberal ass position, what the fuck can we expect from you? This is your policy. If you're an establishment Democrat, this is what you love. This is Obama's legacy domestic agenda item, right? This is his legacy on the domestic policy front. And it was genuinely impactful. It was genuinely positive for tens of millions of Americans, okay? Especially those with pre-existing conditions. It was huge. The provisions that people love about Obama is obviously coverage, forced coverage for people with pre-existing conditions, something that was so cruel and so unique in the previous deregulated structure that people don't even believe that insurance providers would normally deny you healthcare coverage if you had a pre-existing condition. That's how cruel it is, that most people don't even realize that was the norm. And the Republicans fought back against it tooth and nail. Okay? The fact that you could stay under your parents' healthcare until the age of 26, that was good, right? Medicaid was good, offering, you know, there's still a benefits cliff, and that sucks, but at least like there was more help for the working poor in terms of being able to get healthcare. That was good. It was all the socialization initiatives within the ACA, Obamacare, that people liked, but it was still very much a subsidy structure because Democrats can only operate with the private public part.
The election, I mentioned to a couple of political analysts in the after.
Tim Kaine straight up admitted they're just the fall guys. Yeah. He said that while only 8 Ds voted with the Republicans, more wanted to see the shutdown. And I can tell you this, there were a lot more than 8 that were really happy that the 8 of us voted them the way that we did. But I'm not going to put words in anybody's mouth. We know they should just name names so we can just out them and we can rid ourselves of these weak, feckless, institutional Democrats. We must do away with the uniparty. It is ridiculous. Nobody wants this, okay? Nobody wants this. Ay, ay, ay. The very fact that the whip of the minority leader, Dick Durbin, was the one who ended up voting no implies that some more American brain, I don't want to touch that. I just ban them and move on. All right. The very fact that Dick Durbin was the one who voted in this direction shows you where the party is, at least on the Senate side. Because under normal circumstances, his role is to quite literally whip people to stay strong and steadfast and hold the fucking line.
It doesn't seem like some of the party is just angry about this. It seems like this is ripping the party apart at a time where it felt like the party was coming back together post-elections. How do you convince your fellow Democrats to stay together on this? And how do you convince voters across the country to believe in the Democrats again?
Can I just say?
Go ahead.
Tim Kaine in the membrane, Tim Kaine in the brain, baby.
Can I just say, ripping the party apart? I think you're over dramatizing this. I mean, I know the news business is to try to make everything like the biggest crisis since
let me
the Cuban
hold on. Don't say it's me.
There's differences of opinion.
I will quote your
There's
fellow
differences
Democrats.
of opinion.
Gavin Newsom calls it pathetic.
Please
Hakeem
go ahead.
Jeffries, complete BS. AOC says this is not about a base of voters. This is about
Katie,
about people's lives. Chris
Katie,
Murphy
guess
says
what?
it makes Donald Trump
You could have
stronger.
found-
This is a moment that demands fighters, not
Okay,
folders.
yeah.
I mean, this is me quoting Democrats. I'm not making things up.
Right.
You know, it's
And you
it's
could- and
reading
you
what
would've-
people are
yeah,
saying
and
and
you would've-
reporting it.
I know it. And you would have said this, you could have read the same quotes last month, a month ago, a month ago, a month ago. Will Rogers, 100 years ago. I don't believe in organized politics. That's why I'm a Democrat. We're a big tent. We have different points of view. I've been doing this for 31 years. This is by far, a minor league issue within the Democratic Party. We're going to unify around having the healthcare fight within a month. And people are going to see where Democrats are and see where Republicans are. And I'll be glad to come back and talk to you about it once we've done that.
And I'm always happy to have you.
Does he not know that quote is a dig on how unorganized the Democratic Party is? I think they are organized. It's just not in the direction that benefits anybody. They're organized for the wrong things. Yeah. Oh, God. They will never do anything about anything, right? They have no incentive to. They have an infinite incentive to delay indefinitely. This is like a relatively simplified thing, a relatively simple point of contention that I have, but like, I do kind of hate that we had so much hope after Tuesday. And November 4 was 7 days ago. And in less than a fucking week, the Democrats decided to destroy all semblance of hope. Like it makes me so sad. We had it for a brief moment where people were like, damn, shit's kind of good. Like, do we have motion, twin? That's what it felt like. People were like, damn, we got motion, twin. We got freaking motion, twin. They were like, nope. No, we don't. Destroy the hope within your heart immediately. Destroy it. How dare you? How dare you feel a crumb of hope? How dare you feel emboldened? How dare you think a better future is possible? How dare you think the Democrats will fight for you? They will not. They will not fight for you. That's what it feels like. That's what they did. A victory. That in the street law? Wait, why? In China? Or do you mean in America? Because I have worn this in America. I don't think there's an issue wearing this in China at all. In Beijing, I mean. Sino-Soviet split. Deng still has shooters. Well, I mean, I won't be wearing it out and about. But I don't think that I don't think that people care about the Sino-Soviet split at this point. Cheesy in China. Well, I'm not going to be able to wear this out in the streets anyway because it's so fucking cold. So you don't have to worry about that. It is straight up. It's more like wearing I Love New York City in New York City. Oh, I don't care. Yeah, good. That's such a nerdy ass concern. Yeah, bro. I'm gonna be walking around like this. Okay? I'm gonna be walking around like this. Dude. This is what I've been talking about. These gotta be bots, right? I've been seeing K-Hive out and fucking about, dude. I voted for Kamala Harris, so none of this is on my motherfucking hands. Is like, I've been seeing so much of this. People who hate Zoran. People who constantly blame like non-voters and stuff. And it's just like people who are unironically advocating for a world that doesn't exist. Like, I voted for Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris. None of this nonsense is on me. Hampton University, 2005, NUPE, Brooklyn-born, Bronx resident. I don't think these are bots. I think these are like real people, man. I think there is like come on, Hassan, goddamn white boy tourist Sinabu. Yeah, that's true. I am that, shameless. But like, is Dev Boz noticing it spreading on Reddit as well? The combo started initially from a black conservative. I don't think it's bots. I think there is a HBCU contingency of like older black liberals that are like very firmly committed to like a centrist attitude. I don't like, maybe it sounds like it's a bot to me, but it just kind of feels like there is a real momentum in this flank. I don't think it exists in the real world necessarily. Like Ketanji Brown Jackson? No, I don't think Ketanji Brown Jackson represents this politics, this kind of politics at all. No. You're misunderstanding what I'm saying. Here, I'll give you an example. Hakeem Jeffries is nationally very unpopular, but Hakeem Jeffries in his district is very popular, okay? So there are definitely a lot of people that just like, bro, the tweet is bar for bar their account bio. Yeah, I don't know. It feels like it's a bot, but I mean, it probably, I don't think it is what I'm saying. There are enough people all over the place just to pull up a real take or make people post based on which news you show them. Like there is definitely an active, dare I say, outsized K-Hive presence on Twitter, for sure, okay? Retweeting 2024 Pavlo tweets. Sounds like a typical Bernie bro. November 11, 2025. Hassan Piker viewership dropping off a clip, 40% down in 1 month. Used to like him when he was a standard Bernie guy, but then decided to go full tanky. He laughed about trying to defend October 7th massacre. He's been evil maxing. I suspect this is why so many people just tuned out. Yeah, remember my career being over. It was crazy. Yeah, how did that work? How does the food in China compare to Panda Express? It's incredible. Food in China is great. Anyway, let's get back to this video. I hope you fully understand the gravity of where you're going. Tiananmen is the center of Chinese socialism. It's like the Mecca for Muslims or Jerusalem for Jews. After today, you are no longer a fake socialist, and this is your baptism, says Top G yesterday, which is true. I bumped into what Hassan was talking about in the first 1 to 2 weeks prior to the Biden-Harris switch out. Like people call me racist for demanding Harris replace Biden. I was more libbed up a year ago, but it was crazy. Harris wasn't great, but Biden would have lost us Minnesota and New Hampshire and worse. We would have a hole that would be insurmountable. Yes, he should have had Bernie in 2016 and 2020. I think a lot of liberals are reflecting on. I have a lot of confidence in liberals learning at least positive lessons from these sequence of electoral defeats. Okay, I have a lot of confidence that like liberals are radicalizing. They got Zin there.
As Trump was shown on the jump.
March is looking extra Asian right now because he put makeup on his face. Oh my God! Not to blow up your spot, but like
you did
blowing up your.
You did blow up my spot.
Bro. You look good.
You look good. Okay. We need to break down.
The last thing that we should keep is no. I think just rip the camera.
Yep.
And then we'll just continue with the stream for now until you set up, you swap it to the bag, and then we'll break down the bag. Yeah.
On during halftime at the Lions and Commanders
March,
game.
You got quoted in Newsweek, except for the meme that you showed. Except they quoted Will. They thought you were Will Neff. Yeah, it's in Newsweek. Everything that we're doing here is making Western news. They're trying to use it, whatever they can to be like, China is bad. Like, they're just trying to actively do that. It's fucking. Okay, Johnny boy. Okay, dude. Ain't no way, big dog. Ain't no way. You can't be coming in here copying my flow, bar for bar, verbatim. Now, I didn't write that. Quote. That's not my quote. I have been applying it quite a bit to the Democratic Party before the election, which turned out to be prophetic. Don't pretend you came up with it like it's an original thought. It's true. I didn't come up with that. Come on. But I've been using it nonstop to talk about the Democratic Party, and it works so perfect. It works so perfectly. Dems love snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. I even used it recently about the shutdown. before the shutdown actually ended, defend IP in China. That's funny. Yeah, I can't be out here defending IP. I don't care about IP, as you guys know. Especially because, you know, these are, damn, Chatter has receipts. You stole it from me.
See what else?
alive?
Okay, I see. Oh, you're
Can't
saying
tell if
not
he's
dead.
hiding or dead.
No, it looks like he failed the
You
jump.
really
Oh,
pulled defeat
Jesus.
from the jaws of victory there?
Put all my channel points on him.
That's
Live.
poetic. You really
Alright,
pulled
that's
defeat from the jaws of
crazy
victory?
thing to
That's
do.
poetic.
Yeah.
First of all, that's not the first time I used that term, Chatter. That's crazy. No, but hey, is our statement. It's ours. Let him have it. This is my moment, Shaq. Give me my moment. It's crazy. This is a Chinese Chatter too. You see this? Last I checked, that Chatter has a clip and you don't. What do you mean?
That we have on that side.
Coach Brian Dable.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Why?
What the hell did
No, that's crazy. We're so cooked. March is cooking us, boys. Wait, we can't use the camera anyway. What are you talking about? We were going to snap it to the phone. Yeah, what the fuck? We were going to do the phone thing anyway, right? I saw posted say if Nico Harris was a politician, he'd be Cuck Schumer. That's funny. All right, we got to hear what Ezra is saying.
Democrats just do? They were winning this shutdown. They were. And that's not a small thing. The opposition party, it almost never wins a shutdown. And yet, Democrats were actually winning this one. And they're winning it because Trump was acting crazy. Instead of negotiating with them over healthcare subsidies, he was demolishing the East Wing of the White House to build a ballroom. He was throwing Great Gatsby parties at Mar-a-Lago. If you looked at his poll numbers, they were going down. In the CNN poll, he was in the 30s for the first time in his second term. If you looked at the election, Democrats romped to victory. And would I say they romped to victory because of the shutdown? Probably not. But you know who thought it was part of the shutdown? Was Trump. He kept saying Democrats won in part because of the shutdown. And then over the weekend, a group of more moderate Senate Democrats, led by Angus King, an independent who caucused with the Democrats, they cut this deal. And the truth is, there's just not much in this deal. They're ending the shutdown here for very little. But the real key of all this, the place where you see Democrats kind of got nothing, was there's nothing on the healthcare subsidies that were supposedly the core of this whole fight. So what happened? Why did they fold? I think to understand what happened here, you have to know that the ACA subsidies were a kind of weird part of this whole shutdown. The energy for the shutdown did not come from healthcare subsidies. It came from the many, many congressional Democrats who feel Trump is forcing the country towards authoritarianism, who felt they could not morally keep funding a government that was being run this way. I think they were right about that. But there weren't enough of them. And so the idea of shutting down over these expanded Affordable Care Act subsidies emerged. And it was the one demand that could hold the entire
That's
Senate
crazy.
Democratic
No, the energy from this fucking shutdown did come from that. He is wrong. I mean, he's not entirely wrong. He's wrong in a way where he is like saying somewhat of the right things. But like, no, the energy certainly did come from both avenues. Both the black bagging of people that are, you know, otherwise law-abiding citizens and all this stuff. But also, the energy certainly was around the fucking ACA subsidies going away. What do you mean? Tripling the fucking cost of healthcare? That's a real issue. And it's a major winner for the Democrats in general because it's one that people pay close attention to. It's like the avenue that they do win. Like they're setting this up for the midterms as well. This is what a competent government is supposed to do. And they were doing it. It was a competent opposition party strategy. It was right to center the conversation around fucking healthcare. It was not wrong. It was right. The Democrats were doing something right. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. But they were doing it once. For once, they were doing the damn thing. And of course, can you give me my green bag? It's working. Can you give me my green bag? I'm a camera and stuff. We can toss it in the green bag as well. Like whatever externals. Oh shit. Oh, more than 2 pairs, bro. I'm fucking styling, okay? I'm trying to stunt on these hoes. We got to get at least 10,000. What? Tell her we're breaking down right now.
Oh, we're breaking down.
Tell them why we're late.
She has your big ass bulky sweater.
Yeah. We'll put it in the. I'll put it in my backpack. Yeah. Thank you. Do we have need for this? No, right? Because we're not using the camera, and these are for the camera. Okay, yeah. Will's gonna yell at me, of course.
Austin's missing completely.
Nice. Classic. Okay. Anyway, while I'm still breaking down here, we'll keep playing the Ezra video.
Together. But it had a couple of problems. One is that even if Democrats won on the healthcare subsidies, for many of them, it wasn't going to solve the problem they were most worried about, which was the authoritarianism. Two, you had a bunch of Senate Democrats who really didn't want to do this at all. They were just going along with their colleagues. And then three, and this was the hardest thing for Democrats to talk about, even though they talked about it internally. Of course, Democrats wanted to extend health insurance subsidies. They care about the Affordable Care Act. They passed those subsidies in the first place. But weren't they handing Donald Trump, weren't they fighting to hand Donald Trump a huge political gift? Premiums are going to more than double for millions of Americans, 20 million-ish Americans. And Donald Trump and the Republicans are going to be blamed for that. It is going to be another way in which they let prices go up. And so you have this strange inverted political logic. If Democrats won the fight, they would be neutralizing what might be their best issue against Republicans in 2026. If Republicans won the fight, they would be handing Democrats a cudgel to beat them with in 2026.
That's so dumb. So I guess they shouldn't have done this at all. I mean, he's trying to do these guys are shrewd operators who are cynical, cold, and calculated at a time when it's like very clear that, is it working? Is everything good? Yeah. Okay. At a time when like, they've shown once again that they're not shrewd operators at all, that they're not cunning at all. I don't know who the fuck this is for, man. I do not understand it. This is pretty not really, he's kind of right. The shutdown made it way more visible. Yes, but it makes it, God, dude, that was going to be an issue regardless. You don't need to use the shutdown to fucking point to it then. The shutdown was a fight to actually use the only point of leverage that the minority party out of power has to actually get a concession by making it untenable. What do you mean? No, I don't have it. I mean, the long arm does come with that, but I don't have it. Let the people suffer for a political win. No, people are suffering regardless of whether politics is happening or not. The point is, the shutdown does cause the people to suffer, okay? But the reality is, there is two parties to these battles, always, right? There are two parties involved in every political back and forth. Just like when there is a labor union collective action, right? Just like when there's a work stoppage, people go, hello, why won't the unions actually stop this work stoppage? Why won't they get back to work? And the media that is often antagonistic to labor unions will cover it from that perspective. They will rarely ever turn around and say, well, what about the fucking bosses on the capital owner side? Why are they not conceding to the modest demands that are being made by these labor unions?
Damn, this guy's good.